Full of bicycles and tiny cars, houseboats and coffee shops, Amsterdam had become my favorite stop in Europe. There were clear skies the first morning I was in Amsterdam, setting the stage for a sunrise over the canals that AI could never. The views were so breathtaking, I tried to repeat the experience, but unfortunately, the remaining mornings were cloudy. If there is a clear morning, it's worth the effort to pull yourself out of bed. You can treat yourself to a latte after, but if it's only coffee you're chasing, make sure you visit a cafe and not a coffee shop. There is an important difference. Much like where I'm from in the United States, there are certain things that are legal in some areas of Europe that aren't legal in others. Cannabis is legal in Amsterdam, and the coffee shops can function as consumption rooms, with the purchase of a beverage. Not all coffee shops are the same, so if you are looking for somewhere a little nicer to hang out, do some Googling first. Check it out, we got some real swans. I don't want to get any closer because they can be mean. Sex work is also legal in Amsterdam, and in the famous red light district, it's a well-regulated industry. Filming or photographing the staff is illegal with stiff fines imposed, which makes sense. If you do decide to visit, try and be cool about it. Don't be like the group of young dudes I saw who were losing their minds. It's not a good look. Amsterdam is home to the Rijksmuseum, which, to my surprise, is not where the girl with the pearl earring is located, but is where the Night Watch is housed. Though you can only kind of see it because it's undergoing a decade-long restoration. Okay, so this has already been going on for several years. Right now they're just working on the varnish, and that's going to take like another 3 to 5 years. I guess I'll have to come back in 2030. I genuinely enjoyed visiting the Rijks. It was large enough where you couldn't see everything in one visit, but not so much that it was overwhelming to get around. I felt like seeing the Night Watch, along with some other heavy hitters, was a big personal checkmark, but I also really liked the giant model boat and the installations. I'm pretty deep into yarn hobbies, so seeing the spinning whorls on display was an exciting surprise for me. And make sure not to skip the library. It's well worth a visit. Also located along the museum line is the Van Gogh Museum. There are a few of his paintings across the lawn at the Rijks too, but it's obviously not the same deep dive as an entire museum devoted to his life and work. With over 200 paintings and hundreds more drawings and letters, it's an experience anyone with an affinity to Van Gogh should have. My whole trip had been planned last minute, but I hadn't even settled on visiting Amsterdam until I'd been in Europe for almost a week. Tulip season in the spring is when the Netherlands gets really poppin', and while both the Rijks and Van Gogh typically sell out of tickets, I had been able to book mine the day before. The same couldn't be said for a tour of the Anne Frank house. Even in mid-December, those were sold out weeks in advance. I'd have to add that to my 2030 visit. It was at the museum planned Christmas market that I finally found closure after the raclette I'd had earlier in the trip. Thank you. This place is lit. Raclette is on a redemption arc for me. Also, they will put raclette cheese on top of macaroni and cheese for you. So I think that's pretty great. I had the garlic bread. I actually didn't even get all the way down to that far of the menu when I made a decision, and I noticed it just now. I was impressed with this market. The huge ice skating rink looks fun if ice skating is your thing, but what I loved was the bridge built over it connecting the vendors on either side. Things can certainly be worse. Amsterdam's a 10 for me. There's just like so much character. Like even the houses that like are leaning a little bit, like so cute. Everybody runs everywhere. Everybody rides their bike. It's so cool. None of the markets in Amsterdam had souvenir mugs with their glue wine, which seemed crazy with this level of marketing. I got some weird looks when I asked if anybody had them, so I think it's not so much a thing here. But in its place were my favorite interpretation of fried dough yet. Alright, the butter, the powdered sugar, and the chocolate is the way to go. It is so good. I was gonna hold out for more chimney cake, but this is better. This is so good. Well, maybe not better, but it's just as good. It's different. They're like tiny little fried pancakes. They're so tasty. Put the butter and powdered sugar on an accident, but I wanted the chocolate, so they added the chocolate on top. And I think honestly, I had to do it all over again. That's the way to go. When I heard about what happened with the fireworks on New Year's Eve, it brought me back to when a bicyclist and I were almost hit by a fireworks shot out of an alley. It was bizarre to me in the moment because it didn't mesh with the experience I'd had in Amsterdam. I've combed through my footage to see if I had any of the Vondelkerk Church because I did stay on the opposite side of the park that it's located near, and I walked through that park several times. I do feel like I remember seeing it, but I don't have any pictures or video. While December isn't exactly when the Netherlands is in bloom, the flower markets are still worth a visit. If you're wanting to bring something back to the US, some vendors will have tulip bulbs with the USDA certificate. One vendor told me you can bring up to 12 certificates back with you, but it's very important that you only bring bulbs back that have certificates if you want to avoid a scene at customs. Look at that ceiling, all flowers. And before I knew it, my time in Amsterdam was over. But the trip wasn't quite finished. I was spending the first 23 days of December visiting 5 new countries and as many Christmas markets as I can handle. Join me as I continue my solo trip across Europe.